He's back. Breakdown temporarily over, although meltdown still very much going on. Prince Harry taking the coin, being paid probably about $500,000 to make a surprise New York appearance, open up apparently about his journey from duty to purpose. But I've got to take you through this because you know we've been reporting on the fact that this guy is not well. He is vacant. He has lost any sense of who he really is. But the lines that he's now peddling are just pathetically dumb. So here's how people have sold this. Prince Harry made a special appearance at the Nexus Global Summit in New York City. The Duke of Sussex shared his journey of service, being born into a life of service, but moving from having to serve to wanting to serve. He also urged others to use their platforms for something greater than ourselves. I hope your wife was listening to that speech. I mean, seriously, how absolutely tone deaf can you be? Now, some folk are saying, oh, he's had a glow up, he's looking a bit better, he's dyed his hair, but I'm sorry. I want to show you these videos because here is a man who is not hiding his breakdown at all. Watch.
Hi everyone. Hi iPhones.
Can we just think about this for a second? Like, here is the guy who at one point thought he was going to be changing the world, literally being introduced like a head of HR, turning up for a lunchtime meeting at a corporate with a whole load of people who've paid to be there and actually can't really be bothered. And then these are the types of gems that you get when you pay Prince Harry 500,000 buckaroos.
Prince Harry has reappeared in public after a noticeable period of absence. His return has drawn attention, not because of any major statement, but because of what it may signal about the current situation surrounding him and Meghan Markle. For several weeks, Prince Harry was largely out of view. There were no major public appearances and no clear explanations. While public absences are not unusual, this one stood out due to ongoing scrutiny and unresolved questions connected to previous interviews and public claims. When he did re-emerge, many observers noted a visible change. He appeared more restrained and visibly worn compared to early appearances. This has led commentators to suggest that sustained pressure may be taking a toll. Over the past few years, Prince Harry has shared his story through multiple platforms, including interviews, documentaries, and his memoir.
The longer we are on planet Earth, the more experience we have. Thanks, Einstein. I mean, seriously. And then, of course, having used up every old trope that he possibly could, he turns back to the one that simply isn't true. Meghan Markle, my wife, being the most trolled human being in the world. Brittany from the Royal News Network, so good to have you here. So Harry's back. No one cared. No buzz about him being in New York. No real tabloid interest. Didn't really say anything interesting. But Brittany, he looks like a man who is haunted by the failure of his own life. Am I being unfair?
I really don't think you are, because he has to be spiraling in many ways. Like, I don't know all the details of everything going behind the scenes, but because Harry, I think, is stuck in this sort of post-Mexit life, he's continually reacting to the things that did not go well in their initial Mexit announcement. He still wanted to be a part-time working royal. He was denied. He wanted security. He was denied. He wanted to travel around the Commonwealth. He was denied, basically shoved out and publicly told basically that, hey, we really don't need you anymore. And he's continually being in this cycle, I think, of not being able to get out of that horrible mistake that was Mexit. Whereas Meghan is, I think, wildly enjoying the freedom from the royal family. I think Harry is desperately missing the royal family, desperately missing his role, his purpose, and he's directionless. I mean, they pay him $500,000 to go up there and say basically nothing. And he barely graduated high school. Like, what soliloquies could this guy offer? Like, very, very few. He's not known for being bright. Of course, bright people didn't finish high school or had struggled with it. That's, of course, true as well. But he's not known for giving anything to the public really except for a smile and a handshake. And so at this point, he has no purpose or direction in life. He has no job. And he's basically just surviving off his wife's social media presence and failing business. And that's it. That's all he has got.
Oh, Brittany, but come on. I mean, there's words of wisdom like this, Brittany. Watch again.
Supporters say this was necessary to explain his experiences and protect his family. Critics, however, argue that repeated retellings have introduced inconsistencies, particularly in accounts involving Meghan Markle. Some earlier statements now appear to be framed differently. In some cases, details have been softened or clarified in ways that raise questions about how the narratives were initially presented. While this does not automatically indicate dishonesty, it has affected public perception. Credibility has become a central issue. When public figures make serious claims, consistency matters. Shifts in language or emphasis are closely examined, especially when those claims involve institutions and individuals who cannot easily respond. Prince Harry now faces pressure from several directions. There is ongoing tension with the royal family.
The longer that we are on planet Earth, the more experience we
have. I mean, pearls of wisdom there, true pearls of wisdom. You know, the longer you live, the more experience you have. You know, like, what can you say? That's like sort of Captain Obvious. But again, $500,000 for his appearance, and that's the sort of thing that you get. But that's the sort of thing these
and he's not covering up the bald spot.
Deserve.
Brittany, the bald spot still is there. Everyone was saying to me this weekend, oh, no, he's gone away. Actually, what he was doing over the past couple of weeks was some form of, I'm not saying cosmetic surgery, Brittany, because we know that there's loads of non-invasive things that can be done in the US, right? Like, you probably know more about this. Not that you're not all natural personally, Brittany, but, you know, lots of Americans in Hollywood often disappear for a little while and they're either doing the hair transplant or the fillers or whatever. But I mean, I guess he looked marginally better, but I don't necessarily buy that is the reason that he's been out of the public spotlight. But the fact is, he has to go to New York because he has to make the money. And I felt like he just looked like a middle-aged advertising executive giving a speech to people who don't really care. And sure, they've got their phones out, but they've got their phones out because they want to say, oh, God, this is the guy who we've paid all of this money for. Like, what did we get out of this? Like, there's just no genuine excitement. Have you ever seen someone trample over their own personal brand more than Prince Harry?
No. And when he walked into that room, like, the applause was kind of tepid. It was like, wasn't really enthusiastic. You weren't getting a bunch of screaming and hollering and whooping or anything like that. And it might have been obviously the crowd that was there, but at the same time, it's like, if they're business professionals or what have you, it's like, this guy doesn't have a business. This guy has no purpose talking to anyone about almost anything. And he's just basically a marionette. He's just there to share his talking points, mostly provided by his wife, and try to attempt to look like he's saving the world when literally he's just going over ground that's already been done before, and he can't offer anything new in the space whatsoever, except to say, my wife was so trolled. You know, poor Meghan, who has her own troll squad that she activates all the time and loves to rile up. So it's like, he's so deluded at this point. I mean, just on the basis of, I don't even think the guy has a connection with reality at this point. Why would you even listen to somebody who's so unconnected from the real world and can't even recognize, when he does an interview with the BBC, basically calling out his father, telling the world how horrible his father is for not getting him security, and then he's shocked that his father doesn't want to meet with him or speak with him. It's like, why would you even talk to this guy? He just has nothing, I think, worthwhile to say, share, or definitely no pearls of wisdom to give out.
Absolutely not. No pearls of wisdom whatsoever. And I mean, as Meghan's mole also pointed out about this, Prince Harry went from being a respected member of the royal family to making $125,000 to $250,000 a pot, so Meghan can continue pretending to be a businesswoman loser, which might sound tough.
Continued media attention and expectations created by previous disclosures. Each new appearance is measured against what has already been said, making both silence and engagement difficult choices. Supporters argue that the emotional strain is visible and that personal stress should not be interpreted as deception. They point to the impact of constant public scrutiny and long-standing family conflict. Critics counter that accountability comes with choosing to go public, and that credibility is weakened when stories appear to change. This reappearance may represent a moment of reassessment. It could suggest a quieter phase ahead, or simply reflect the toll of sustained exposure. What is clear is that Prince Harry's public image is no longer shaped by a single narrative, but by ongoing debate, contradiction, and interpretation. Prince Harry is back in view, but his return does not resolve the questions surrounding him. Instead, it reinforces them. Questions about consistency, credibility, and what direction this story will take next remain unanswered. For now, the situation continues to unfold under intense public scrutiny.